Hello everyone, so I just realized when I uploaded the video that apparently the audio didn't record from her video. So I'm gonna do it again. I might even try to do it in one part, and it might be a bit longer, but we'll see. Okay, just gonna try and get you full screen here, and here we go.
In today's video, it's a health. Hello, you beautiful rebels, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, it's a health update video. I like to make periodic health updates. It's been about a year since the last one. I've been getting people asking me to make more health update videos. I actually wasn't sure I was going to make this video just because it's been such a long, very difficult journey with my health, and I'm not in a great place right now. And so
all right, she sounds like she's, I don't know why, but she sounds like she's laughing through it all. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, why laugh? Why laugh? Just, why?
So usually what I try to do is I try to look for like the good in things. I like to look for the good in things. I like to look for the positive. I'm a glass half full sort of person. But right now the glass is looking more half empty. And so I wasn't sure I was gonna make this video just because it's not like I am triumphant. It's not like, you know, something great has happened. And so in my last update video that I did last year, that had a lot of hope in it. I was trying to be as positive as possible when really in the broad, if I step back and look at the full picture.
She is sped up, by the way.
It has not been great in the last 4 years with my health. It really, really hasn't. I keep hoping things are gonna change. I keep hoping that, you know, things will get better. But it doesn't really, and it's very, very hard. And it's even harder to talk about because I don't think people want to hear this. I do this thing where I will only film my videos on the good days. You will never see me intentionally sick in a video. And if I'm feeling a lot of pain in a video, if I'm really, really sick in the video, I make the video anyway. This past summer, for example, I was making a video in the garden and I broke my toe in the garden while filming the video.
This part I don't understand. She broke her toe. How did she break her toe? Like, was it just bump and I broke it? Or did she actually like fall a certain way and break it? Like, I don't know if it showed it. Did anyone see that video? Did she actually fall? Because holy crap, if she just bumped her toe and broke it, it's your diet.
And I kept going. I kept filming the video even though I was in a lot of pain. And the funny thing is that's probably more relatable for a lot of people. Because if I tell you that for the past 2 years, I have been filming videos while very, very sick, while being extremely dizzy, while feeling just really rock bottom low, you don't see that on camera. It's not broken. I don't look broken. I don't look really super sick either. And so I think a lot of you think I'm doing okay, when in reality, I am struggling. And
here's a heads up. If you're super duper pale, you're not supposed to be like, I don't know. Ever since I was eating more liver and stuff, which I do need to start eating more of, but ever since even cutting fiber out, I've noticed, I've heard this from several people, I'm not quite as pale as I used to be. Like, I look a little more brighter. This, you're not supposed to be white. Like, you're not. I don't know what she looks like, but I'm pretty sure she's very, very white. Okay, that's not a good look.
And it's been progressively worse. Every year it's worse. I take all my energy and I channel that energy into doing what needs to be done for my family and into my garden because I grow food for my family and into this. And even though all of this looks super easy, it's really not. And there have been days where I haven't been able to get out of bed, even though I want to, but
I can barely relate to that, getting out of bed, wanting to get out of bed. I can sort of relate to it. Like, there are days where I just feel blah. But I think it's my hormones, just, you know, it's just a laziness more so than anything else. Back when I was anemic, it was rare, really. I'd at least try and push myself, which isn't a good idea. But I thought it was just the anemia, I thought I thought that was normal. Well, I didn't think it was normal, but I thought it was normal for my genetics or whatever. I now know that's not normal.
So sick, I have to stay in bed. I cannot get out of bed because I am just so sick. And it really sucks when you want to do things, when you want to get out of bed and you can't. You can't do it. You want to be there for your kids. They're like, Mommy, come play with us. And I'm like, I am so sick, I can't get out of bed. This is the reality of being chronically ill. I have to structure every day around if I am feeling sick or not. I have to take every hour one at a time. I can barely plan anything. I can't be like, oh yes, in 3 months I will do this thing. No,
it's hard to imagine because I don't feel sympathy for this. Like, it sounds cruel, but I have no sympathy. She doesn't eat meat. And she brought this on herself. She brought this on herself. I don't know how she's not making the connection that her diet made it worse ever since she changed to being vegan. I don't know how she doesn't see it.
3 months, I may not be able to do that thing or that project. I have to plan everything around my chronic illness. And I have been doing that since I was about 17 years old. And at 17, 18, even 19, I did not expect my illness to get worse. Even at 25, I was like, this is probably, just how it's going to be. But no, it has gotten worse in the...
It doesn't have to be that way. Guess what? I felt the same way about my anemia. And even my mom was like, you're probably going to have to go into the hospital every month like that other woman that came in. Because there was another woman that came in and she said, I'm here for my monthly infusion or whatever. And I'm sitting there like, crap, that better not be me. Because this woman was an elderly woman, I think. And I'm sitting here. I was 22 at the time. I'm like, is this going to be me? Is this going to be me? No, I won't allow that. I can't allow that in my life. I don't want that to happen again. So I took action. Vegans who say meat has nothing that plants have, or meat has nothing that plants don't have, speak for yourself, because meat made me better. Oh, iron's toxic if you get too much. Your body takes care of that. Your body regulates that. Right? And think about the girls from a long time ago, like probably 250,000 years ago. They weren't constantly menstruating. They were always either pregnant or, they were done with pregnancy and fertility and hormones altogether. They were done with that. They weren't always having a period. But then they're giving their iron to their babies. It doesn't matter. What matters is that I really don't think iron is dangerous if your liver and your genetics are healthy. Like, hemochromatosis is so dang rare that you really shouldn't worry about it. And ferritin should not be 10, by the way. Ferritin should be probably in the hundreds, I think.
The past 4 years, progressively each year getting worse. I honestly don't know how to describe this, and it's incredibly difficult to describe. And maybe even some of you think I'm just complaining. And I am complaining. I'm complaining because I don't know what it's like to feel good anymore.
I didn't either. But guess what? When I changed my diet over, you wouldn't believe how good I feel now. Like, the only reason I get tired is just poor sleep habits that I've not been able to fix. And I had these sleep problems for, I would say, 9 years. Because I started with the anemia symptoms at 16 and 17. it got really bad. And then ever since then, things have just not been great at all. And I just don't know how to fix it. I don't. I do good for a little bit, and then I get thrown off again. It's just the nature of the beast, and I'm also blind, right? So it's not easy. It's not easy fixing things that,
I don't know what that's like. Mostly I'm upset because it doesn't just affect me, it affects my family, and it affects my kids. I have been filming YouTube videos for almost 7 years now. And in the past 2 years, I have thought weekly about quitting. This is the one thing I do that is mine. Everything else is for my family, but this is the one thing that I do that is mine. And I don't want to give it up just because I'm ill. I am so let down by the medical system here in Canada. I am so let down by my doctors.
Yeah, I don't believe that entirely. And I'll tell you why in a moment.
I'm so let down that I've received numerous misdiagnoses. Not one, many misdiagnoses.
You know why? Because they haven't heard of vegan illnesses. Doctors aren't taught vegan illnesses. Doctors are not taught about veganism entirely. And if they are, there's not much on it.
To the point that I was on really hardcore steroids. To the point that I did months of antibiotics. I have been on a pretty much salt-free diet, which restricted my diet even more than it's restricted. And that was for 1.5 years. And at times, because they told me salt was affecting me so badly, along with being on medication, I at times went completely salt-free because I thought it was what was making me ill. Months of waiting between appointments, months of thinking that I had something, was getting treatment for it, and it turns out, no, you don't have that. And months of going from doctor to doctor because I wanted second opinions. So my family doctor said I had Meniere's disease. I went to an ENT specialist 3 times, each time being like, are you sure I have this disease? The doctor being like, oh yeah, you have Meniere's disease and there's nothing I can do about it, so stop coming back. There's nothing.
I don't think they'd say stop coming back. I really don't think they would. You know what I bet you they probably did say, though, that she's not too proud about? Eat meat. You have to start eating meat again. And now she's just kind of playing around with the story, twisting the words that they've said.
Nothing I can do for you besides prescribing you medication.
Sorry, I just heard a noise. I distracted there.
You going salt-free and caffeine-free. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to go see an expert specialist. Drive 4 hours to see an expert specialist multiple times, undergoing tons of testing, a lot of it not nice. It's not nice, most of the testing. Find out that I don't have Meniere's disease. After going for 1.5 years thinking you have a certain disease, and finally someone being like, no, you don't have this disease, but they don't tell you what you do have. They don't tell you what you do have at all. They just guess. And the only way that you get to the root of something is if you don't give up and keep going. But I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by trying to keep going and trying to figure out what's wrong. Why do I have
Humans are not supposed to have these problems. Oh, she's about to ask a question, by the way.
vertigo? Why am I constantly dizzy?
Why are you having vertigo and why are you constantly dizzy? I'll tell you why. Because you're deficient. There's just something about these vegans, they don't get it. And I don't understand why. They are being told all the time that their diet is not healthy by a lot of, especially older people, and yet they refuse to believe it. I don't understand. There is a reason the elders tell you this. There is a reason.
Why do I have chronically low blood pressure that actually needs salt? I have constantly been told I need salt. So that was
You have low blood pressure because you're deficient also. Being deficient on everything causes low blood pressure.
super dangerous. Why am I anemic even with iron pills?
You're eating plant foods. You're destroying your gut with all the gosh dang legumes and fiber.
Why do I have B12 deficiency even though I'm getting B12 shots?
Because you don't eat meat. Duh.
Why do I have stomach pain?
Because you're eating a bunch of fiber and legumes. God.
I've kept extensive notes about my health since I was 17. And I've kept extensive notes about what I eat and what I try and what I take out of my diet because it causes pain. And my diet is just so restricted because everything hurts.
It's restricted because you're vegan.
Pretty much everything hurts. As my husband likes to put it, I am the sickest, healthiest person he knows. I have all the healthy handmade deodorant. I have all the healthy soap. I have the healthy toothpaste. I don't put stuff in my body.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm sure you buy soy products and stuff. I'm very sure of that. Yes? You eat... I wouldn't be surprised if you eat grasses. Those aren't meant for human consumption. You eat beans. Those are not meant for human consumption. You realize, prepare them wrong and you will die. You won't just get sick. You will die.
Blah, blah, blah. But yes, I did turn to modern medicine because I was tired of being sick. And my husband was like, you have tried everything else. Try all the medicine. And so steroid to steroid and antibiotic to antibiotic, all the medication for Meniere's, all the medication for other stuff. And it just doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. Because you are deficient. Get it through your gosh dang head. Gosh, I tried reacting to this earlier today, and I'm still getting heated by it. Holy.
Feel so just let down. How come, I don't know. Not only...
How come? Think. Get some freaking eggs in you and then think about it. Eat some dang cheese. It'll give you enough fat that your brain will be like, wait. You've had meat before. I know you have. What harm will it do? You didn't die from eating meat. You're obviously still here right now. You didn't die from eating meat before. What makes you think you're going to die from eating meat now?
Only though am I let down about the healthcare.
Oh, and by the way, you probably might get sick if you try to eat meat now. So I'd recommend getting friggin' some kind of enzymes or something. Because you're not going to digest it very well. Because your stomach's just, it's weak.
System. I am let down about how the healthcare system views women. Since the beginning of my husband pushing me to find answers about my health, I have not really been listened to. And so I have to get my husband to speak on behalf of me at appointments.
The only reason I believe this is because she's a woman that, and it's a lot of women that are like this, especially in this current generation. A lot of women, and I know she's not quite currently this generation, but she's, I think, my generation, so like millennial. I'm like bordering Gen Z, but literal, like she's probably millennial. Good Lord, gotta spit it out here. Blah, blah, blah. And because, and even some millennials are like so whiny. They complain. They find everything offensive, hurtful, and everything angers them. And so the doctor probably feels like, okay, I'm not going to listen to you because you're probably just over-exaggerating. You're a hypochondriac.
And he's the one who pushes these doctors. He's the one who says to these doctors, I want you testing for this, this, and this. When it's really me who wants to test for those things. Because I can ask a doctor, hey, can you test for this? And they'll be like, no, there's no reason to test for that. We're not even gonna look at it. And my husband will be like, no, we really wanna test for that. And the doctor will look at him and he'll be like, okay. Like there's a difference between me asking and my husband asking. There's a big difference apparently. And my husband has to go, listen, she is so sick, she can't get out of bed some days. She is so sick, she is dizzy all the time. And that's the only time doctors will listen.
I wanted to check to be sure I had the audio settings set right. But yeah.
That's it. So honestly, this entire experience has been not great. That's what I'm going to sum it up as. This entire experience has not been great. Wow. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yes, there is. There is. Look up. Protein bioavailability. Just look up bioavailability in general, like nutrient bioavailability. Look this stuff up. Look it up. Look it up. It's 2023. It's 2023 now.
I have seen online doctors.
This video was not made that long ago.
I've spent my own money on supplements, thousands of dollars spent on doctors, private doctors, and, buying supplements.
Guess what? I haven't spent a dime on medications or supplements. And when I did, it was back when I was still living with my mom and still a student. Let that sink in for a moment.
And naturopaths and chiropractors and just stuff that isn't covered by insurance. And not only do I think at this point that the majority of healthcare doctors, they just don't care, I also think that a number of holistic doctors really prey on people who are sick.
I don't know about holistic doctors. If they're the vegan ones, yeah. Because they know that the vegan diet makes you sick. They know that. So they use it to your advantage. They say, oh, you can stay vegan. You stay vegan. It's okay. It's not the diet, I can assure you. But I bet you deep down, they know. Or it could be the other way. Maybe they're telling you to eat meat, and you're interpreting that as them wanting you to be sick. Meat is not going to make you worse. Cut out the gosh dang plants, get some enzymes, bile salts, and eat some meat.
And they absolutely do nothing. Because I have sat in naturopath offices. I have listened to chiropractors. And it's just... people...
What's with this weird music in the background? I don't know if you guys can hear it. You have to listen really closely, but...
People really do sell snake oil. They sell snake oil to you. And some of them are very good at their marketing.
I wonder what actual snake oil would be like for her. I wonder if it would do anything.
And some of them are very good at being, trying to give you that hope. And I just...
Eat the bugs!
I can see through it now. And I wish I could have seen through it.
I mean, snakes aren't quite bugs. They're reptiles, but...
Before. At this point, I just really don't trust a lot of people, including doctors, just because of the number of misdiagnoses.
Because they tell you not to be vegan. Probably. But also, they've not seen all these problems. They don't understand that even the standard American diet is deficient in a lot of things. I mentioned this in the last video. I'm sorry, I didn't know that it was... I thought it was set right, but it wasn't. And I don't even know why I uploaded it. I never even checked. But what I mentioned in my last videos that I had this vertigo and stuff like that. And I still experience it from time to time. This is an inner ear problem. And I've had this problem before I went keto. A lot of the problems I have now, I've had before I went keto. And I'm still trying to heal some of them. So it's really rough for me. But they're not debilitating as in every day. The vertigo is very rare, only once a year or twice a year maybe. And it's only for a few hours that it's at its worst. And then the bowels, I have them off and on each month. Some months I don't have it, some months I do. So I don't know what she's not, because the more meat I eat, the better things have gotten, right? And I don't know why she hasn't tried going the other way. I don't know why. Because she doesn't want to be labeled as vegan anymore, but clearly she is.
How can you do that to someone and then put them on medication? And the medication has all made me sick. It has all made me sick or given me side effects. And yet I've stuck to it because I'm like, we need to find out if this is going to help. I am trying to figure out everything myself so that, or as much as I can myself, because they haven't figured out anything. I might as well keep trying to figure something out. And just from doing that, just from keeping extensive charts and just from keeping extensive lists of what I eat and how I feel, I have figured out that I probably have a histamine intolerance, because every time I eat fermented food, of any sort, sauerkraut, kombucha, any of that stuff, I get so sick with vertigo. And so knowing that has restricted my diet even more and has improved a few things.
I've never heard of that, actually. I've heard of, like, anxiety, sort of, with, like, caffeine, but I've never heard of vertigo from, like, fermented foods. Someone, like, has to help me make sense of that.
Because now I just avoid those things. And so I'm no longer getting vertigo attacks, still dizzy sometimes, but I think that's because of the anemia.
Oh, definitely. Low blood pressure overall because you don't eat any meat. You have to break away from this diet. Seriously. Like I said, I am still heated. And this is like my second time reacting to this.
And we're just trying to figure out the rest of it. We don't know why I have stomach pain. I was supposed to have went already, on this SIBO treatment. And the SIBO medication is a lot of money. And
I've never heard it said SIBO. I've usually heard it said SIBO. But you make a lot of money out of this vegan cult. You can afford it. I don't want to hear you complaining about money. Come on. And you grow your own food. What is the problem here? Shut up.
And so I was prescribed it 4 years ago, but couldn't take it because it was so much money. And now I'm thinking about taking it, but again, it's so much money. So we are trying to write to the insurance company we have, asking them to cover.
How much? Like $60? Surely you have enough. Surely. $100? $200? If it's $1,000, then I might understand. I might have a little more sympathy for that. But if it's only $60 or so, clearly, with the vegan cult ideology crap, just shut up. $60 is nothing for you.
It, and we have to get all these forms filled out by the family doctor to try to cover this medication. I know people like to hold the Canadian healthcare system up on a pedestal as a marker of what good healthcare looks like, but the truth is our healthcare system is breaking. It is broken. It is spiraling. It is not a good place, and privatization is probably going to happen here in Ontario at least. And there are people much worse off than me. I'm just, in the grand scheme of things, what's happening to me is not that bad. I mean, I'm still alive, so that's great.
Not that bad? Are you kidding me? Not that bad? How? What? I don't care if you're comparing yourself to other people. It's horrible. It's just... I don't understand.
At times I have felt really, really bad and like I'm dying, but I'm still alive.
You are dying. Because you're not eating meat. You're not eating what humans have eaten for 250,000 plus years. All the way back to Homo erectus. Yeah. I don't go back as far as Homo habilis because they didn't look like us. They were more like apes. So I don't count them.
But, you know, there's other people who aren't as lucky as I am. And so I guess I'm just complaining in this video a bit. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
It's not funny. It's not funny. You're treating this like it's very minor. No. At this point, I don't... Just, no. Go to the store and get some meat. Try a little bit. Maybe drink some bone broth. Make some bone broth and drink it. It stinks. Make it. Drink it anyway.
I still have stomach pain. Most likely have an ulcer in my small intestine, but they won't go into the camera and look for it because I'm not dying. And so...
Yeah, you are. It's slow, but obviously your body is dying. It's obvious. Clearly.
They're like, we'll most likely have to open you up to retrieve the camera if it gets stuck. So we're not going to give it to you. But you most likely have ulcers. But we're not going to diagnose you with Crohn's disease because we diagnosed you with that and we don't think you have it anymore. I have asthma, which I haven't had since I was a kid. I have chronic...
See, this is what I'm talking about. The only thing you did differently was go vegan, right? And you didn't have asthma since you were a kid. And then, of course, you go vegan. And then now, this.
Sinusitis and a sudden allergy to my dogs.
See? You see this? Veganism isn't helping you, is it? It didn't help anything.
still have dizziness.
I don't get the laughter.
I had to restrict my diet even more and still have tinnitus and a bunch of other stuff. Honestly, doesn't sound that bad when I list it out like that.
Are you kidding me? Doesn't sound that bad. What the heck kind of planet are you from?
But altogether, it's pretty bad because I would take just the stomach pain. That was manageable.
I can't take stomach pain, okay? I have debilitating bowel pain. Sometimes. It's better. A bit better. But it's still debilitating for me. It's awful.
Manageable. All this other stuff is not very manageable, and I'm just exhausted. I'm really exhausted. It's funny how such simple symptoms can make you feel just knocked down.
It's not funny. It's your body telling you, I'm suffering. I'm malnourished. Help me.
And at rock bottom.
Feed me.
And it's just been an especially hard 2 years. I have been so sick the past 2 years. And every time I don't think it can get worse, it gets worse.
Because you're doing the same. You're literally insane. The reason I say that is you're doing the same results and expecting different results. Same things and expecting different results each time. Because you're not adding the one thing in your diet that could actually change your life for the better.
Probably not the health update video you all expected. I'm doing better considering that I cut out histamine-causing foods. So
That won't fix your nutrition, darling.
that is a positive right there. The rest of it, though, I'm struggling with. Very much struggling. And it's just hard. There's people who have it much harder, though. So
I don't care about other people. And I hate to think of your kids. I'm sure your kids are feeling the same thing. This is child abuse. I'm surprised you haven't been caught yet abusing your kids with this diet. I'm hoping they're eating meat behind your back.
I guess the main takeaway from this video, if you have made it through this video, is that I'm sick.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Stop laughing. It's your body literally crying for help. You are damaging it.
I don't know why I'm so sick, and I keep trying to figure out what to do. And if you're sick and you can't figure it out either, then I get it. I very much get it.
Guess what, though? Guess what? I fixed 99.9999% of it. Guess how? Carnivore.
I have to be honest, though, part of the reason I'm making this video is because if I have to quit YouTube, which I don't want to do, this is the one thing that I do for me. I want you to know why I quit. If I quit, it's gonna be because I can't do it anymore with my health. I can't push myself anymore, and I've pushed myself a lot. I push myself in my garden. I push myself trying to do everything I do. I'm not Superwoman. I am not able to do everything all the time. I get asked quite often, how can you do so much while being chronically ill? And honestly, it's because on the days that I feel okay-ish, I get up and I push myself. And even though I may have had an awful day the night before, or a day in bed the day before, I will get up and I will push myself to get as much done as possible. And then usually what happens is I have a nice pattern of being really sick for one day, can't do a whole lot, will push myself the next day to do a lot, will end up back in bed, unable to do anything. So
this is not funny. It's not funny. What is this reaction? What is this?
It kind of goes day after day. If I go back to the beginning of the video where I talk about, stepping back and seeing the whole picture, that's really hard for me to do because what I tend to do is just look at things day by day, hour by hour, because that is really all I can do with the chronic illnesses or whatever is going on with what I have. I can't predict anything. I can't plan anything. I can't do a whole lot. And so it's really hard for me to step back and be like, wow, you aren't getting better. The thing
You're not gonna get better eating the gosh dang vegan diet. Cut the crap.
is that I still have that tiny bit of hope, hoping that I'll figure it out, because my doctors are sure not gonna figure it out. I keep hoping I'll figure it out and be able to
You're not gonna figure it out eating the vegan diet.
get better. And my therapist again says that I need to stop hoping. I have a lot of hope for things, and some of that is just not rooted in reality. It's
I bet you your therapist told you to start eating meat, is what she probably said. She didn't tell you to stop hoping. She didn't tell you to do anything to yourself. She's probably said start eating meat, and you interpreted that as stop hoping.
fantasy. And I can't help but have that bit of hope I'm going to get better. That is it for today's video. I know it's pretty negative and low and not great, but that is the reality of my situation, and I wanted to be honest about that. Honestly, it's really hard to...
The only thing I can appreciate is that she's honest about this. That's the only thing. Because no vegan's going to admit this to you. I bet you even Vegan Gains is like suffering off camera. Like, even when he starts filming and he sounds like he says he's doing good and that he's, whatever. I'm sure off camera he's all like sick a lot. He has mentioned how sick he gets a lot of the time, so it's crazy. But, yeah.
Talk about everything or show everything when I'm trying to film videos in an upbeat and positive way, because that is the way I want to view the world, and that is the way I usually view the world. And so I focus all my energy into making these like really happy videos, trying to put my entire self into these videos. But it's really hard to be like, I'm filming this video while absolutely dizzy, or I didn't, sleep last night because I was so sick, but I'm filming this video today. And Joseph has been in more videos because I have been so sick. There are some times I just can't do it, and so he's been stepping in for me. This is everything I'm going through. I film videos while dizzy, I film videos while sick, I film videos while in pain, and I don't want that to define my YouTube channel, and I don't want it to define who I am as a person, but it is my everyday reality. Even if I deny it to myself, it's still what I deal with every single day. And I hate stepping back and seeing the bigger picture of what it looks like.
You're not seeing the bigger picture, because if you were, you would realize it got worse when I went vegan.
All right, that is really it for today's video. Thank you for watching this video and making it this far. Yeah. Get dirty, stay magical, peace. Bye.
I'm still stunned, even after the second attempt reacting to this, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But anyways, that's it for me. And, yeah. So, vegans, if you realize your problems are actually getting worse after having gone vegan, it's the diet. Admit it. It's the only thing you did differently.